budget speech also mentioned about the LIC IPO. In fact, the word is that in next 7 to 8 days, probably DRHP, the prospectus is going to be filed. How confident are we that LIC IPO could happen before March, the year closing?
Yes, of course. LIC IPO will come in March, and our DRHP will be filed next 7 to 10 days, next week, by the end of the next week.
Right. And in terms of the embedded value and other such figures, they're still in the process, I understand.
Embedded value has been done. Now it will be going through the IRDA, the regulator, and then of course feed into the DRHP. Got
it. And with BPCL, there has been a major hindrance because I think that was 4 rounds of EOIs followed by a major gap, and you've spoken about it, that there are certain global concerns that have to be factored in. But further going, how are we looking at it at the timeline of BPCL privatization? Can that be expected in the next financial year?
I just want to make a correction. There was no 4 round of EOI. There was only 1 EOI.
There were extensions.
Yeah, there were extensions in the sense that they, before that thing in COVID struck, and obviously we had a collapse of not only petroleum market, but also there was total lockdown and so on. So that was a time. But thereafter we got bids, and because it's a $10 billion of net worth requirement for this, it's a very large transaction. And we did have do have bidders. They have started their due diligence after the signing of the undertaking. But there have been also certain issues in terms of energy transition and other things where increasingly it has become very difficult for a large transaction to conclude in the refining sector, particularly petroleum refining. And we have been, of course, through our transaction advisor, persuading them to come forward for financial bidding, and that's where we are.
Right. And so because of these global concerns, is it also making it difficult for government to think about disinvestments in the petroleum sector, or is that probably not a question to look into right now?
No, as of date, what I can say is that we are into a transaction, so let's hope that it concludes.
Right. Another key announcement that was made is on the PSB privatization, where it was announced that 2 banks will be privatized and the roadmap is expected on it. Is that going to happen in the coming years?
I think that was an announcement last year, and I think Department of Financial Services is seized of the matter. So that's much I can say. Because that would require a legislative change.
Right, and there was also an announcement on the insurance, one insurance company that could be taken up.
Well, I think you will come to know whenever our processes, whenever the things are considered in the Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs for an in-principle decision, then I think we inform the media whenever it is cleared, and then we go forward for our process for appointment of transaction advisors, and then going for road shows and EOI.
Is that going to happen soon, sir?
You wait and watch. I mean, we are rolling out things, and we have to see the timings and so on. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it has to be a sigh of relief for you after Air India, but there's so much in the pipeline that I'm sure you will be on it. But one last question, sir, before I let you go, and this is that what can be expected as a part of the privatization pipeline? We've discussed all of this. These are in the process. Is there anything new, new assets that are going to be identified, or right now the attention is going to be to execute the one that are in the pipeline?
No, I think pipeline concept itself means that there is something at the end, there's something in the middle or at different parts, and something in the beginning. So therefore, there will always be some feedstock which will be put in the pipeline, and there will be something which should conclude. That is a right way of doing, disinvestment transactions.
Right.
Because I said that disinvestment transactions itself are a little longish. You will have to have undergone a serious amount of due diligence and processes and work. These are companies which are divested. These are not merely simple asset sales. There are a whole lot of issues are involved. The contracts have to be looked into by this thing. There's a long-term implications of various issues. The assets have also to be looked into. The liabilities have to be looked into. The SPA has to be negotiated. So all these are very complex things which take a lot of time with the right kind of advisors, which we also have, and which of course the bidders also they hire. So there is something which will, in order for us to conclude something, for example, if I am supposed to conclude in this year, I must have started it a year back or so,
Right.
in order for me to do that. So from that point of view, there will be, there should be a new entrance in the pipeline as well. And this is in accordance with our new PSC policy.